Widely considered the most terrifying character in the entirety of Fallout New Vegas, few managed to escape his gaze without losing their lives. So I figured I'd dedicate today's video to one of the most terrifying characters in existence and ask if you can beat Fallout New Vegas as Easy Pete. Now, before we jump into this, I want to let you guys know that this is the last chance to enter the giveaway for a PS5 copy of Spider-Man 2. All you have to do to enter is just leave a comment below. I'm going to be selecting a winner in the next upload using a random number generator and just putting in the comments and, using that to obviously pick the winner. The copy is, of course, an NA only code as far as I'm aware. I'm not entirely sure how PlayStation does regional codes, but the code that I have is from the US, so I'm fairly certain it'll only work in the US. I could be wrong, not entirely sure. I don't do a lot of PlayStation stuff, so I'll have to check into that. So if you happen to be from another country and still want to enter, just know that the code may not work for you, and that's all I really have to say about that, just a small little disclaimer. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into today's run. Now, on the wiki, these are Easy Pete's stats, but I obviously can't run his specific stats since they're, lower than what the game actually allows me to do. I could have fiddled with console commands and just lowered all my specials, but I decided to just kind of raise the stats that he had already, points in, and then just go from there. I did, however, pick his tag skills of explosives, guns, and sneak, which is kind of weird. That's not really a skill I would expect Easy Pete to have. Now, before I can begin this run, I need to lay down a couple ground rules. Obviously, since I'm playing as Easy Pete, I'm only allowed to use weapons that Easy Pete would use. This, of course, means that I'm allowed to use dynamite and long fuse dynamite, since I don't really consider long fuse dynamite to be a separate weapon. The game considers it a separate weapon, but we're gonna say that it's not for the sake of this video. I'm also going to be using the 357 Magnum revolver. I did put up a poll with my community when I was about halfway through this run asking if other revolvers should be allowed, just for sake of variety, but everybody was okay with that. But I figured I wanted to save that for a future video since I do have an idea with a revolver-only run. Now, to get my hands on what I would be using for the run, I of course went and murdered Easy Pete in his sleep, setting his body on fire, and picking up everything that I could. For some reason, his outfit didn't drop with his body. I'm not entirely sure why, so I just elected to use leather armor for the entire run instead of whatever his outfit is, because I couldn't be bothered to go spawn it in with console commands or anything. I, of course, went and got into my first little bout of combat with some powder gangers, testing out the 357 Magnum revolver, and after playing through Fallout 3 again relatively recently, and doing some side stuff on my own with the game, I remembered how shit the 38 pistol was in Fallout 3, using it on a couple enemies, and I was pleasantly surprised that the 357 Magnum was actually not that bad. I don't remember if I've used this gun in a prior challenge video. I honestly can't recall ever really using it, and it's a weapon that I don't really ever find myself using on a typical run because it's just, it's like one of those beginner weapons, kind of like the 9mm pistol. But this thing is actually insanely solid. I mean, there are obviously going to be situations later, Brotherhood of Steel, that make this weapon really look terrible, but other than that, I mean, let's be honest, what weapon does really look that great against the Brotherhood unless it's an endgame solid weapon? I mean, take like the varmint rifle or the 9mm pistol against the Brotherhood and see how well they hold up for early game weapons. This thing is actually really crazy. I spent some time restocking and getting some ammo and then just kind of running around. I didn't really have a specific thought process for this run. I was just going to kind of go around and do stuff. It's been quite a while since I've played through New Vegas. I've been pretty dead lately. I'm pretty sure at least 3 people asked me on the last video if I had unironically died, but you know what? No, I am back. I am doing fine. I have like 5 different projects I'm working on at once, which is by far the main reason that this video took so long. I just wanted to release it pretty soon after the Fallout 3 video that I did a couple weeks ago, but a bunch of other stuff came up. I started working on literally 4 videos at once, and then I was like, I should probably finish one of these, so this was the one that got finished first because it was the most straightforward and simple to do. The other 2 or 3 that I've got recordings going for at the moment are just kind of out there and pretty annoying for me to just record all the way, but regardless, we're just gonna jump right into this one, and hope you guys forgive me for being dead for so long. For some reason, I just kind of went to Hidden Valley and killed centaurs and went up to Tabitha after being aimless for a while. I don't know really what I was doing for the first hour of this run. Tabitha also was extremely easy because she just put away her super sludge and started fisting me, which is not a euphemism, don't worry about that. So I just killed her and then left before Annabelle Missile Launcher Nightkin decided to blow off my limbs. After that, I was just gonna, head to the gun runners. I needed more ammo. This thing is relatively annoying to build ammo for. I don't know why, but I was pretty poor this entire run for ammo up until the end of the game when I just sat there and restocked 12.5 times. I don't know why the 357 ammo is so uncommon. I don't actually think there's any other weapons off the top of my head. I could be entirely wrong, but I think the trail carbine or cowboy repeater, one or the other, one of those and the 357 are the only weapons in the game that use 357 ammo if you're not playing with mods, as far as I'm aware. I guess the police pistol if you want to count DLC, but we're not, able to use that in the base game, so I don't really count that from dead money. It's kind of weird that they didn't have more weapons that use 357 ammo, which kind of surprised me, honestly, now that I'm thinking back on it, but we're going to ignore that and move on. Now that I've got pretty much everything that I need for the run, I've got my weapon. I ended up buying a few mods for it early on as well. Chet was selling the, I think, chromed barrel and hard receiver or something like that. I don't remember what they're called, but they increase durability and fire rate, which is absolutely fantastic. I really didn't have to repair this gun almost at all during this entire playthrough, and I killed a lot of people this run, man. I killed so many people. I went to places that I hadn't been in a while. I killed a bunch of random people that I usually never interact with, like Oris, unless I'm doing an NCR run, of course. For some reason, a gambler just decided to pick up his revolver and play hero and try to fight me, but that didn't end well for him. I of course went off to the Kings and started murdering everybody there because traditions never die. This was fairly easy. The 357 is just really good, honestly, man. I'm very, very surprised with this weapon. I did step outside and immediately get firing squatted and had to take cover behind a flaming barrel because I couldn't see shit due to the blood mod that I have, but that is pretty much everything that I did in Freeside. The game, of course, crashed after as a transgression for my sins against humanity, so I just reloaded up and went to the strip. Once I was at the strip, I figured the first thing that I should do is go over to the tops and deal with Benny. Since I already had my speech leveled up quite a bit, I could just kind of, talk him up to his room. And I did just that. Now, the thing is, I thought a hollow point round in his head would one-shot him, but it didn't. I'm just kind of annoyed by that, honestly. Vulpes, however, did not survive more than one shot, and I really debated using his hat, but it's not the Cattleman hat that Easy Pete has, so I didn't use it. Of course, after that, I went to Mr. House, sat through the Securitron monologue upgrade, whatever, fucking school tutorial video, I guess. It's like back when they'd play movies in school and you just kind of had to sit there and take notes, except I wasn't being tested on any of this information, so I just ignored it. I was siding with Mr. House, however, this run, so I traveled back to Prim and began my walk to Cottonwood Cove. Normally I go a completely different route, but I wanted an excuse to just kill a bunch of people, so I found 3 different groups of raiders that I blew up with dynamite. I hadn't really used much of my dynamite this run since there hadn't really been any occasions where it would benefit me. However, the Legion and small tightly packed groups of raiders proved to be very effective means for me to use explosives on. I did nearly die in Nipton against a bunch of the Legion because I was just kind of playing stupid and not really healing or anything, so we're just going to ignore that and pretend that I'm the best player that's ever lived. After that, of course, I just kept walking towards Cottonwood Cove, killing the occasional raider here or there. I did stop by Camp Searchlight and clear out most, if not all, of the ghouls in the area. I don't know why. I haven't been here in so long. It's been so many videos since I've actually went to Camp Searchlight, so it's kind of fun to just come back over here and kill stuff. When I made it to Cottonwood Cove, I was immediately attacked by the Legion, and I kind of had a moment of forgetfulness because I was wondering why the Legion was attacking me. I did put on the Legion outfit for just a moment so that everybody would leave me alone so that I could actually go to the fort, witnessed the solar eclipse, which was pretty neat, and then made it to the fort and started slaughtering everyone. I did die here a couple times, but I mean, it's mostly because my armor broke pretty much immediately, so I was doing this entire area with basically no armor because when my leather armor breaks, it has a damage threshold of 4, which is literally 1 more point than the base rank of the toughness perk, so I basically had the resistance of a naked man. and it was not very fun. I was getting harassed by the Legion. One of them spawned with a fucking grenade launcher, which was unfair because I just kept getting my limbs blown off and I was not happy. I did end up having to clear this place like 5 different times because as soon as I killed absolutely everybody, my game crashed, which was just absolutely lovely. I'm so happy I'm dealing with that shit again. The weather station guards harassed me quite a bit as well, and I was honestly really surprised. I don't know why, I'm surprised every single time I kill them at the fort at how much damage the damn ballistic fist does. I kind of want to do like a ballistic fist only run. I think that would be kind of fun. Maybe I do the unique one, the 2-step goodbye from Gunrunner's Arsenal, and just have the entire challenge be somehow saving up like the 35,000 caps that it costs to buy that damn gun. Maybe I do it without gambling or something, but that's an idea I can tuck away for the future. Anyways, I went back to Mr. House after dealing with the fort, and it was time to go deal with the boomers and the omertas and everything, which of course just meant more murder. Now, typically, you would think that since Easy Pete was an NCR citizen, he was a prospector for the NCR looking for old pre-war shit, that he probably wouldn't just kill random civilians. And you know what I say to that? I don't care. I did name my character Difficult Pete because that's what one of the comments suggested on my community post for this video, which was kind of hilarious. So we're just gonna be like the anti-Easy Pete. You guys remember back in like 2014 when all the big gaming YouTubers like Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie and all them had like evil alter egos? Yeah, well that's what we're doing with Mr. Pete this time, baby. Anyways, off to the Brotherhood, and this was honestly not fun. I used up pretty much the rest of my dynamite here, and I burned through almost all of my stim packs that I had amassed at this point. I think I was sitting on like 45, 50 stim packs when I went in, and by the time I was done, I was completely out. Now, the 357 is a fantastic weapon. That doesn't change the fact that it does like 10 fucking damage to a Brotherhood knight, and they're, you know, in power armor. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. There's not a whole lot I can say about that. I just kind of have to deal with it. I did manage to get through this place without too many issues. I think I only died like 3 times in here. I died more this run than I usually do, and honestly I'm blaming it on the fact that I had basically no armor because the Brotherhood broke my armor with the first 3 paladins that were up top guarding the gate. I had no armor coming in here, and I really thought about equipping Easy Pete with power armor because the thought of that was just hilarious to me, but I didn't do it because I didn't want to break the rules that I had set for myself at the beginning of the run. But if there was anything that was going to get me to change the rules, it was the goddamn Brotherhood of Steel. I hate dealing with the bunker every single time. Anyways, whatever, we're moving on. It's time for the second battle of Hoover Dam. Blah, 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 you know, it's the same things here. The Securitrons kept hitting me with missiles. I helped the NCR clear out the Legion because I was still friendly to them. I figured since Easy Pete was, you know, a citizen of the NCR at one point and worked for them, that I shouldn't really kill too many of them. The NCR heavy troopers did kind of scare me a little bit, so I had to run away and reload before I could deal with them since I missed shots. I actually whiffed a lot of shots this run with this weapon, and this thing has like the shittiest reload ever. I'm really sad that there was no like speed reloader mod for this weapon with any of the, you know, modification systems, but we're at the end of the run now, so it doesn't really matter unless I use this thing again in the future, which is highly unlikely. The Securitron actually went into the camp with me this time. That's like literally never happens, almost ever. I took basically every single consumable that would, you know, do something in my inventory that I had, and then started bonking the Legate. I took off like 200 health with a sneak headshot immediately, which felt really good, and then the Securitron just kind of helped me barely. For some reason, the Legate actually grenaded me and killed himself and most of the Praetorians at once, so that fight was actually really easy. I let Mr. House deal with most of the NCR. He levitated one into the air and turned him into ash, which was pretty neat. I wasn't really gonna help because, you know, I can't kill the NCR, man. I'm supposed to be a citizen, but we're gonna, you know, just ignore that. I work for Mr. House now. He pays me better, and I don't have to go dig around in old buildings for pre-war shit. But with that, I beat Fallout New Vegas as Easy Pete. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments below. This run was really not that bad. I mean, I had more deaths this run than I'm used to, but it wasn't like aggravating like some of my other runs have been. You know, like the Fallout 4 BB gun run. That one sucked. But do keep your eyes peeled for the future projects. We have some Elden Ring, some Terraria, some Cyberpunk, and some more Fallout coming up, of course. I do also have a Skyrim video in the works, so all of those will be coming out some point in the next month or two. I'm not sure in what order, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but that's what's next on the agenda. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a wonderful rest of your day.